Hey, it's Amaranth.
And this is Emirates,
Come talk with me about.
the foundations of a good relationship.
All right, start us off.
Well, when we're talking about foundations, we're talking about what you want to build in the startup to make sure it goes the distance. So I think the first foundation you need, or the first building block you're going to need, is trust. Trust is almost always going to be in one of these talks where we're talking about relationship because it's that important.
It can't be the first one though, because you got to build up to that.
I guess. Well, then let's go with honesty so that you can build that trust.
Fine, I can say honesty.
Okay, honesty, and I can see that. I feel like trust was or is still just as important, but
No, I think it's more important, but I think it's not. You you
you
have to
can't
you
do it
have to
without
get to
honesty.
it right. Communication, and honesty. You have to get to the trust.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Um, Now we're talking about being honest. We're talking about like honest, just about everything. And of course, when you're first starting off, there are things you're not gonna really talk about. Most likely, won't come up in conversation until you get to that point. But even things that you do talk about, you just want to make sure you're being truthful and honest about
And don't go out of your way. I'm the kind of person that just doesn't think about stuff. So if I come home or wherever, I don't know, the situation is brand new and we go on a date or whatever, I don't think about it, then that doesn't mean I'm being dishonest. It's just because I don't think about sharing. So that might have to grow too. You might have to get into that habit of being like, this happened. Let me share this, or this girl flirted today. Let me tell you about it, because you might just not think about it. So
it. That's true because sometimes, I mean, it might be considered lie by omission,
right,
and I'm a little hesitant when it comes to that. Like, if it's on purpose, or I'm like, let me leave
intent.
that detail out. Yeah, then that's a lie by omission. If, like you said, you didn't think about it, or it's like that detail was not important, so I did not talk about it,
Right.
then that I would still say is not a dishonesty. Um, but then it also comes onto who you're with and what they would consider to be important or not. So like that girl who flirted with you, like it was one line in the beginning of the day, and I did not think about it for the rest of the day. For the whoever you're with might be like, oh, that lady had the audacity to even try it, which
Right.
you can't really control what she has the audacity to do. So I
Especially
don't.
if you don't have a ring on.
Right. If you're just dating, you cannot control what the people around you do. You can only control how you react to it.
Right.
Um, and so I do think there are partners who get upset when the partner is shown interest into by other people, despite the fact that they have no control how other people act. Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Right. And me personally, as long as you're coming home with me, I really don't care. If you want to flirt a little bit and get a free drink, by all means,
By all means,
do that thing so I don't have to pay for that drink. That is fine with me. Or if they want to pay for your Netflix, I'm cool. I'm cool on that.
definitely.
But more real life. just we'll just worry about you and what you can contribute, and not go haywire because someone does something to your significant other that they can't control.
Now, when we're talking about honesty and trust, let's talk about also, and we might say we'll go deeper into it in another conversation. But we're talking about cheating and what cheating might look like. Like I said, we'll dive into that into a different conversation. But I do want us to also keep in mind that have a discussion about what your boundaries are in a relationship. Um, so, like, when I first met my wife, I was very honest about who I was, how I interact with people, and I stuck with that. I told my wife, I like to flirt. It's a fun way for me to interact. You're going to hear things because I flirt with multiple people. And I flirt with just about anyone and everyone so that no one thinks it's serious. Um, and she understood that. I told her jealousy and this relationship will not work because of how I interact with others. So if that's going to be a thing, we shouldn't even try. And she understood, and that was 14 years ago. It was forever ago. And because of that honesty, I can still, and she trusts me to go talk to whoever, interact with whoever, and still come home to her. Um, but I think that's the type of honesty that needs to be stated clearly and transparently. who you are as a person, your flaws, your pros, your cons. It can be ugly, but you have to first self evaluate what are you looking for and who do you mesh well with.
The only thing with honesty is even if honesty is there and you don't have communication, then it doesn't work. Um, for all everyone out there, I was married. I am now divorced. Honesty is not the only thing; it's also communication. If one party is honest, and even at the beginning, even if you don't know, like if I was in Eminem's shoes, and I was like, hey, I flirt with everyone, and then they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine with me, and then they come to find out later that they're not okay with that, then you got to have a conversation about, hey, this is who I am. Where do we go from there? So if you're not having those conversations or things are being repressed and things like that, then that's just a recipe for disaster. So make sure you're always communicating. And if things change in your life or if you feel a different way, um, then tell them that. And I know it's hard, and I know that might ruin your relationship, but you got to do it. It's not fair to anyone involved if you're changing your thought process or they think you're thinking one way, like, oh, I'm fine with this, but really you're just repressing things and are angry about it.
Oh yeah, and that'll come in to the relationship later on as well. Now, I will say you can't have honesty without communication.
You can, but it's
Can
not
you?
good. Yeah, you can. I can tell you something, and you can be honest about it, but without like full on communication. And again, we'll talk about it later. Active listening. It doesn't work right. You need all of them together.
So, how can you be honest without communicating? Because you might have thought you were okay with something, found that you were not okay with something, and so
So you're still not lying.
you're not
You
lying.
were honest.
Now, is that part of the lying by omission?
I would say no because it's not in my mind. If something changes and you don't talk about it, that's just on you. Like I wouldn't say it's lying, but you're not being honest. And I know it kind of doesn't make sense, but you can not be honest and also not lie. It's just kind of sitting on a fence almost.
I agree. I agree. I did think it was just something that could be confused or confusing when we think about it. So I did want to bring that point in, but I do agree with you completely, Emirath. Um, so yeah, now I think we've hit trust,
Communication.
communication just now, and honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Those are three of the main, I want to say, foundation blocks, pillars, whatever you want to call them, of a good relationship or a healthy relationship. I would like to go further into communication. Like, what things should be talked about at the beginning of the relationship so that when it's going forward, it stays healthy.
Everything. All the stuff that you think you're supposed to stay away from in the first few dates. Maybe not the first date, but the second date. But like that third date, you need to talk about politics. You need to talk about babies. You need to talk about drinking habits. That's the stuff you need to talk about.
On the third date,
Yes.
I can't agree with that one. I can't, only because I think on the third date, you're still in the anniversary phase where you're getting to know each other. Those are very deep topics in which you might scare off your potential person.
Exactly.
Right. So if we're talking about marriage way too quickly, that sends off red flags. Or third date is way too quick to talk about babies. We're nowhere near that point.
That's
by
why it
date
needs to
3.
be mutual. Don't just like bring it out of nowhere.
Right,
It
which
needs
is what I'm
to
saying. At the very
Yeah.
beginning of the relationship, what should we be talking about? Babies is not one of them. I'm like, whoa. We're nowhere near that point. Do not bring babies into the conversation.
I mean, if you're like, do you want kids? And then they're like, nah, hard pass. Then
Right.
it's kind of
Yeah. And
don't do the little, oh, maybe you'll change your mind. No,
no.
they won't.
Yeah. I would
Maybe
say
fifth. Maybe fifth.
fifth. So it does depend on how you bring it in. Like politics is. I enjoy talking about politics no matter where whoever I'm talking about stands, because if you disagree with me, I enjoy debate. So I'm looking to learn the way that you see things, why you see them the way you do, and then I'm always having fun trying to see if I can convince you or win the debate. So for me, it's fun either way. If you agree with me, it's a lot less fun. Then I just feel like I'm in an echo.
Just a conversation.
Right. It was just echo chamber where we're just kind of commiserating about how people see it differently. It's like, those guys.
Yeah,
but
we hate them.
right. But you can definitely bring in current events, how you see them, and now, do you think your partner should agree with you or be on the same side when it comes to politics?
It doesn't matter to me either way. You can disagree, you can agree, you can believe that cows were born on the moon. I don't care as long as you can have that conversation and be okay with differences and being able to agree to disagree. I'm cool with it. Obviously, I have my limits. If you're like, oh, baby murder or something crazy like that, then no, I don't. I will not participate in that conversation. But most normal human things, sex, gender, quality, all that stuff, I'm good on. I'm good on.
Now, just for clarification, we're talking about baby murder. We're not necessarily talking about.
Oh no, not abortion.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about literal like running around. No, yeah. We're not even going to talk about that. Maybe in the future, but no, that's not even the topic today.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify because I know someone's going to misconstrue that and be like,
You're right. I didn't even think about it. See, that's one of the things. If you don't think about it and the other person does, it's just like, you got to talk about it.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I think personally, you guys might not agree on everything, and that's completely okay. But I think if you're complete opposites, because each side has extremes, so if you're in one extreme, the other person the other extreme, y'all are not gonna get along very well. It's gonna be a very stressful relationship. Just in the way that I'm running it in my mind, I don't have that experience with it.
You'll get along well. I've had people that was an extreme left. I'm not right per se, but they were very opposite or very hardcore on the other side of me. So, and it was fine. And I mean, we don't talk today, but that's not why. That's not why we don't talk today. It was for other reasons. But before, just real quick, before we run out of time, what's it called? Compromise is one of the ones that I feel is super important.
Oh yeah, definitely. And compromise is gonna be an everyday thing, and I think in the beginning of the relationship, when it comes to compromise, you'll find that one is either doing all the compromise, or someone's not doing almost any compromise, and it's gonna even itself out as you guys grow together, because someone's just gonna be, I don't want to say it definitively, but someone's probably gonna be more committed than the other person.
I don't want to say committed, maybe willing.
Willing is probably a better word. Yeah, we'll go with willing. And then it'll level itself out, or it should level itself out as you guys grow more accustomed to each other and grow together. But either way, both sides should be compromising.
Yeah, 100%. It's even little things, just what TV show you watch, what movie you go to, what food you eat, just little things like that. And obviously the bigger stuff too, which is harder to compromise on.
Oh yeah, where we want to live.
Yeah, where you want to live. That's huge. I wouldn't even imagine. I couldn't even know how to start that discussion at this point. But you have to do those things, and you might have a big loss now, and then you might have a big win later. Just you have just be prepared for that. You have to do that, or it will not work.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the definition of compromise. Are you ready to lose some and win some? And I know most people tell you that the lady wins all of them. That is not true.
It's not. It's fun to say.
It is fun for them to say.
But it's not accurate. There's a lot of little things where women also compromise that maybe we just don't speak up about, or and maybe one day we'll in the future we'll have a woman on to share their side. But it's everyone compromises, even if society doesn't say that they do. They do.
Definitely, definitely. But one thing that is uncompromising is that subscribe button or that like or dislike. That just has to be hit
Has to be hit.
by both you, your partner, if you're single, just you. I mean, hit both like and subscribe. That way, you can pretend you have a partner who hit one, you hit the other.
If you don't do it, then you're a crazy person. But I still love you anyway. So, until next time, guys.
This is Imminent. Thanks for talking.